All right. It's 8 p.m. Central, and time for the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, heard Wednesday nights on this repeater. My name is Matthew. My call sign is Kilo November 4, Lima Romeo Alpha, and I'll be your net control for this evening. This is a controlled net, meaning stations should refrain from transmitting until designated check-in or comment times. You can hear us on the University Link repeater system, that's 441.325, PL 97.4, and the M5OAK repeater system, that's 147.320, PL 114.8. You can also check in through Echolink on the node Kilo Alpha 5 Delta-R. There are other ways of checking into the repeater system, and you can find all of the details online at the website ka5d.com/repeaters. Please give a couple of seconds between transmissions to allow all of the system links to communicate with each other. Before we begin, is there any emergency or priority traffic on this frequency? If so, please call now. Nothing heard. We won't have any scheduled breaks to check for emergency traffic net this evening, but will gladly yield the air if any station calls in with emergency or priority traffic. Is anyone available to be my backup net control operator this evening?
AI5PZN.
Hey Ernesto, great to hear you on this evening, and thank you for helping out.
Hey man, good to hear you. My pleasure.
Alright, let's get this thing started. The UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net is a social net with the purpose of bringing local radio operators together to share knowledge, discuss club activities, and keep in touch. All hams are invited, both new and experienced, and no club membership is required. If you're new to the net, the way this works is very simple. In a bit, we'll invite everyone listening to check into the net. We'll start with short time check-ins for stations who just have a few minutes with us, then move on to general check-ins and comment time. Before we get started with check-ins, we have some announcements from the club. Our next club meeting will be in person. That's next Thursday at 6 p.m. Go ahead and go over to our website, that's n5xu.org, to get signed up for the email list for more information at that meeting and for the room location. In other news, if there are any new hams out there listening, on Monday, QRZ.com announced the Jumpstart program, which is designed to help new hams get on the air by providing a free dual-band handheld transceiver along with other goodies as a welcome package. Any new hams who have just obtained their first license are eligible to apply as long as they do so within 30 days of the license grant date on the FCC records. For more information, visit the QRZ website and search for the Jumpstart program. For more information about our club, or if you'd like to get involved, please visit n5xu.org, where you can read more about the club and sign up for our email list. You're listening to the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, hosted by the University of Texas Amateur Radio Club, every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. here on the University Link repeater system and the N5OAK repeater system. My name is Matthew. My call sign is CAN4LRA, and I am your net control this evening. Let's move on to net check-ins. During check-in, please key your mic, say, "This is," unkey, and wait a moment to hear if anyone else started speaking at the same time. If it's clear, key in again and slowly and clearly state your call sign and first name. We encourage you to use standard ITU phonetics if you know them. This gives everyone the opportunity to learn the phonetics and makes it easier for me to write down check-ins. We will start off with short time check-ins. If you're out there and know that you just got a few minutes, but still want to say that you've checked into the net, this is your opportunity. To keep things brief, we will not take general comments from the short time stations. Short time stations, please call now.
This is WZ5BBS, short time, no traffic. Thanks for running the net tonight, Matthew. We'll holler at you later.
All right, that's Rusty, WZ5BBS. Rusty, great to hear you on this evening. Any other short time check-ins, please call now.
This is Alpha Golf 5 Sierra Juliet, Micah, Alpha Golf 5 Sierra Juliet, no traffic.
All right, that's Micah, Alpha Golf 5 Sierra Juliet. Great to hear you on this evening, and we've got you down, no traffic. Any other short time stations, please call now.
This is Kilowatt 5 Bravo Zulu India, Ray in South Austin, Texas, no traffic.
Hey Ray, I've got Kilo 5 Bravo Zulu India. Great to hear you on this evening. Any other short time stations, please call now. Nothing heard. Let's do one more call for short time stations for the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net. Last shot, short time, please call now. Nothing heard. Well, thank you to the 3 operators who checked in short time. Let's go ahead and move forward. You are listening to the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, hosted by the University of Texas Amateur Radio Club every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. here on the University Link system and the N5OAK repeater system. My name is Matthew. I am KN4LRA, and I am your net control for this evening. Let's move on to general check-ins. After we've got a few people checked in, we'll give the floor to each of you and then to any stations who wish to respond. If we don't get you during the first round of check-ins, stick around. There will be plenty of opportunities to check in throughout the evening. Again, no club membership is required. Any licensed operators are welcome. General check-in stations, please call now.
This is November 5 Echo India Foxtrot, stroke 6, Samir in Cupertino.
Net recognizes November 5 Echo India Foxtrot, stroke 6. Samir, great to hear you on this evening, and thank you for checking in.
Kilo 5 Echo Juliet Lima.
Net recognizes Kilo 5 Echo Juliet Lima. That's Joe. Joe, great to hear you on this evening. Any other general check-ins?
This is Kilo Charlie 2, Zulu Romeo. This is Will. Hey.
All right, I got Kilo Charlie 6, but the rest of it kind of faded into static. Let's give that one more shot here.
This is Kilo Charlie 2, Zulu Romeo. Will.
Much better that time. I've got Kilo Charlie 2, Zulu Romeo. That's Will. Great to hear you on this evening. Let's go ahead and move on. Next station.
This is Kilo Golf 5, Kilo Victor Juliet.
All right, we've got Kilo Golf 5, Kilo Victor Juliet. That's Garrett. We're checking in.
This is Whiskey Alpha 7 Foxtrot Lima Echo, Will in West Austin.
All right, we've got Whiskey Alpha 7 Fox Lima Echo. That's Will. Thank you for checking in. More general check-ins, please call now. All right, nothing heard. Well, let's go ahead and, to start off, let's check in with Ernesto, KI5PZN from KN4LRA. Ernesto, how's your week been?
AI5PZN. Hey, Matthew, thanks for running the net. Week's been all right, man. I've been working a lot, but that's a good thing in my case. Took a break this morning. No, that was yesterday. Every day looked the same. And raised my VHF, UHF antenna, one more segment. I have one of those telescopic masts, so I raised it one more segment. And I'm deciding if I should put guide wires or if I should just bring it back down again because I'm that lazy. And then I realized my 6-meter dipole had one of the arms down for, I guess, the wind, the little breeze that we had a couple of weeks ago. Let it reset. So I fixed that yesterday. Let's see what else. A little bit of HF. I always get in late, I guess, early evening, or sometimes till around 10 or 11, I guess. It doesn't matter at this point. But yeah, I do get on HF almost every night when I get a chance. So I've been doing that as well. And I think that's about it. Nothing too exciting. Back to you, Matthew. This is KI5PZN.
Hey, great to hear. Well, definitely, you definitely get more time on the air than I do. It's barely even, once or twice a month now that I make it down to the UT shack, and I'm able to get on HF there. Mostly it's just the VHF and the UHF on my handheld or in the car. All right, let's open it up for questions or comments for Ernesto. Please call now. Nothing heard. Well, again, Ernesto, thank you for helping out as backup net control today, and hopefully we'll hear you on tomorrow evening as well. Let's go ahead and move on to the next general check-in station. That's Samir, N5EIF from KN4LRA. Samir, how are you doing?
KN4LRA in the group from N5EIF. Thanks, Matthew, for hosting the net, and glad to see everyone on. Not much going on here. I too have a telescopic mast in the backyard here, and I did not get it to its full height either, but I'm currently I have it about 10 feet up only and a 20-meter dipole up there, and it's working okay actually, and it gives me my daily fill of CW operations, so I'm pretty happy about that, but hoping to put up a 40-meter antenna on the same mast, or hopefully in a while when I get some time. But yeah, not much else other than that. Mostly just operating CW. And oh yeah, I did go to a swap meet on Saturday, and that was fun. And I picked up some rings, which I have giving away actually here. So I gave away 2 haste kits to someone at my workplace, and then getting rid of the other stuff because I just realized it's got a ton of dust on it. So hoping to have that out of the apartment soon. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So hope everyone's doing well and classes are doing well. I guess midterm season might be coming up. I know it's already kind of past at UC Berkeley. So hope things are going well at school and hope things are going well in Austin for everyone. That's it from me. N5EIF, back to net.
Well, thank you for that, Samir. I saw your post on our Slack channel with that big old list of everything that you scored at the swap meet. I definitely need to pay more attention to when there's swap meets or things like that in Texas, because it sounds like really cool way to get get my hands on some gear for in budget that kind of fits a little bit more in line with the fact that I'm still a college student for another year. Midterms, for me at least, are next week, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to do net control on Wednesday. Maybe Young will be able to step in and help out then. But for this rest of this week, things are pretty chill here. Let's go ahead and open it up to questions or comments for Samir. Please call now.
Kilo 5 Echo Juliet Lima.
Joe, go ahead.
Yeah, Samir, did you say you were going to school in Berkeley?
Nope, not me, but my brother is going there, so he's always telling me about when his exams are and stuff.
Roger, understand. Okay, well I didn't quite get that. Well, my mother and her family live up the road up in El Cerrito. You know, it's about 10 miles north of Berkeley. And I've been to a lot of the radio clubs around Berkeley. Anyway, just curious. Good to hear from you, son. Back to net, K5EJL.
All right, thank you, Joe. Any other questions or comments for Samir? Please call now.
AI5PZN.
Ernesto, go ahead.
Hey, Samir, good to hear from you. I have two questions. My first one is, have you joined any ham radio clubs over there, local? And how are you liking your new job? Back to you.
Hey, Ernesto, nice to hear from you also. And I have not really joined any clubs except for the ham radio club at my company, which has been very good. We have weekly chats in video call meeting type things. So that's pretty fun, and we can talk and exchange notes about various things. But other than that, I haven't really joined any general purpose clubs. There are quite a few around here, including one of the bigger ones is, I think, the Palo Alto Amateur Radio Association, which has a net every week. And there's daily morning also here on the N6 NFI repeater, which I was trying to frequent, but I took down my 2-meter antenna because I moved my office from the outside room to the inside room here. So I still need to put that back up, and maybe might want to put a 2-meter antenna on the mast. So that stuff is all pending, so I haven't been checking into those repeaters or nets very often. But yeah, that's the first question. I think I forgot the second question. Could you please read?
Yeah, man. How are you liking your new job?
Oh yeah, thanks. And yeah, the new job is going well. I'm really happy to be finished with school finally, and this work is something that I've always wanted to do. It's what I did last year, the internship also, so I kind of knew I liked this team. So kind of glad to be working in industry now. It's definitely what I've wanted to do. So yeah, happy with that. And yeah, thanks for the questions, and nice to hear you, and hope to hear you on HF also whenever you're on the air. And yeah, N5EIF, back to net control.
All right, are there any other questions or comments for Samir? Please call now. Nothing heard. Well, let's go ahead and move right on to Joe. That's K5EJL from KN4LRA.
Yeah, good evening to the net. Nothing much to report here. We're still working trying to get the station at K5LBJ the Lhasa High School set up again after tearing everything down for the summer. We've gotten it back on the air, but I'm trying to build an antenna feed-through panel to go through a aluminum sash-type window and trying to get all that fitted together. It's exceptionally wide. It's 42-inch wide window. Anyway, there is that. And but we have added greatly to the club membership, the Lhasa Amateur Radio Club. Not only do we have 11 students in the class, the 4-credit elective class this semester, but we also have about 9 students who are in the club who are not in the class. So I'm very excited about that. We've just never had that many before. If we can get them on the air and make some contacts, well, I'm sure we'll have a good go for School Club Roundup, October 17th through 21st. Back to net, K5EJL.
Very cool. Well, great to hear that we're making some progress there, and very exciting to have the possibility of more people getting on the air in the future. Are there any questions or comments for Joe? Please call now. Nothing heard. Well, let's go ahead and move on to Will. That's Kilo Charlie 2 Zulu Zulu Romeo from KN4LRA. Will, how is your week going?
Hey guys, KC2ZZR, Will. Week's going really well. I guess it's week 2. I started this club called Austin Mesh, austinmesh.org. Let's see, we have 2 members now. We have solar-powered mesh-tastic repeaters. These are 900 megahertz. You don't need a ham radio license, but they're 900 megahertz repeaters that run on the LoRa protocol, and basically any Android or iPhone can connect to them, and you can do up to 280, I believe, characters of text between them. They work, a few miles. I was able to from mine here in Zilker to downtown this weekend, so that's about 2 miles. Our second member is Manu. He's going to UT Austin for, it's environmental engineering, I believe. And he's got a repeater, solar-powered repeater set up in East Austin. And then we actually had just a new person today up in Pflugerville that's interested in joining. So let's see, I don't know, this week I got the Instagram and the Twitter. I got all the accounts set up, so I've gotten some new interest for the group. And I'm happy to answer any questions about it. Over.
Well, Will, welcome back to the net. Very interesting project that you've got going on there, and really cool to hear that you've already got some people joining in and putting up stations. Do you know, is the other gentleman from UT Austin also a ham?
He is not. I asked him, of course, but yeah, he is not. He's just he's more interested in the computer programming side of things. So he was interested in this new technology essentially.
Very interesting. Well, I did take a look at some of the boards that are available and that support the Meshtastic software for the possibility of playing around with that with the UT Club, and was a little bit confused by which ones of the boards were well supported versus what had features and what didn't. So I may send you an email at some point here once the classwork dies down a little bit and get your 2 cents, and maybe we'll be able to put something like that together in the future. I know the UT Club has a lot going on, for us individually between classes and clubs and all that, but definitely, something to keep on the radar, or if there's anyone in particular who's especially interested. Back to you.
Yeah, that's awesome, Matthew. I'd love to have you join at some point when you're not so swamped. The email is info@austinmesh.org. I actually have it's a rack. It's a solar-powered repeater, and I can get a 10 decibel gain antenna for you guys. I'm happy to donate that to the club. Back to you.
Roger that. Well, I will absolutely send you an email then, and, we'll try to get something set up there. Like I think I mentioned before, we've got a wonderful location up on what is it? I guess it's the Mechanical Engineering Building at UT where our shack is. So might be able to make some, get some really good coverage from up there if we could put something together. Are there any other questions or comments for Will? Please call now. Nothing heard. Well, let's go ahead and move on to Garrett. That's KG5KVJ. Garrett, how's your week going?
Not a whole lot in the ham world, and thank you very much, Matthew, for running the net. It's always a joy to hear you on the airwaves. For the ham stuff, nothing exciting over here, but for personal projects, made some huge milestones, and for personal life stuff, some huge milestones. Great. My wife finally gave birth to our beautiful baby girl, who was a surprise. Not that the pregnancy was a surprise, but the fact that the gender was a female. So we had that, and we've been working with that the last few days. That's been quite a joy to work with and figure out. It's frustrating at times. For tractor projects, break. I got a 1965 Massey Ferguson 8E executive tractor that was given me for my first birthday, and I've been working on that slowly, and I finally got it running, and I was able to ride it around for the first time in probably about 10 years or so, maybe even more. And then I got the tires mounted on my 1974 John Deere 110, so that's been pretty exciting to have that totally complete now, aside from the mower deck. Break. And other than that, there's nothing super exciting going on over here, so I'm going to turn it back over to Net Control.
Roger that. Well, congratulations on the baby girl, and good luck with all of your tractor projects. Are there any questions or comments for Garrett? Please call now.
WA7FLE.
Go ahead, Will.
Hey, Garrett, just wondering your opinion on how soon is too soon before you're going to get your daughter into ham radio.
As soon as I possibly can, to be perfectly honest. I want to get that kid a call sign as soon as I can, so it's going to be a never-ending gauntlet of trying to train that little girl up on ham radio stuff and getting her a tech class as soon as she's able to. KG5, KVJ.
KCTCCR, just want to say congratulations. That's awesome on the baby girl.
All right. Are there any other questions or comments for Garrett? Please call now.
5P's in.
Ernesto, go ahead.
Hey, Garrett, just want to say congratulations, man. Awesome, man. Really happy to hear that. Back to Net Control.
All right. Any other questions or comments for Garrett? Please call now.
N5EIF.
Samir, go ahead.
Hey Garrett, just wanted to say congratulations on all three big milestones, and I guess looking forward to seeing your daughter on the air also. So big congratulations from N5EIF. Back to Net.
All right, one more call for questions or comments for Garrett. Please call now. Nothing heard. Well, let's go ahead and move on to Will. WA7FLE from CAN4LRA. Will, how are you doing?
WA7FLE. Thanks, Matthew, for running the net. Thanks, everyone, for joining in. Actually, the first time in a while I've gotten to play on the radio a bit. Got caught up doing the dissertation proposal and just wrapped that up successfully. So now we've got a little bit of a reprieve from the stress of schoolwork right about as everything else goes crazy in my world. But hoping to get some more time on the airwaves here in the next few weeks. That's about all that's been going on my end.
Well, great to hear you back on the air. Are there any questions or comments for Will? Please call now.
This is KG5, KVJ.
KVJ, go ahead.
What's your dissertation on?
So the high-level concept is using long-term models that cities and metro areas develop for how travelers' behavior to influence traffic signal timings.
That seems remarkably applicable to Austin. KG5, KVJ, back to net.
Very interesting project, Will. I'll be interested to hear more about that at some point. Are there any other questions or comments for Will? Please call now. Nothing heard. Well, you are listening to the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, hosted by the University of Texas Amateur Radio Club, every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. here on the University Link repeater system and the N5OAK repeater system. My name is Matthew. That's KN4LRA, and I am your net control for the evening. Let's do one more call for anyone who wants to check into the net. If you'd like to check in, please call now with your call sign and first name. All right, nothing heard. Well, let's go ahead and start to wrap things up here and start off by checking with Ernesto, KI5PZN from KN4LRA. Ernesto, I have 5 general check-ins, 3 short-time check-ins, and the 2 of us. Do you have the same?
Yes, sir, I have the same here. KI5PZN, back to net control.
Wonderful. Well, Ernesto, thank you again for helping out this evening. To everyone else, thank you for joining us for the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, a service of the University of Texas Amateur Radio Club, call sign November 5 X-ray uniform. We're here every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. for the net. We are the official amateur radio club of the University of Texas at Austin. For more information, please visit n5xu.org, where you can read about the club and sign up for our email list. Again, thank you to everyone who checked in. It was great talking with you all this evening. My name is Matthew. My call sign is KN4LRA, and from my QTH here in downtown Austin, 73, and thanks again. The system is now returned to regular amateur use.
Hey Matthew, great net tonight. Thanks for hosting it, and glad to hear everyone on. N5EIF.
Thank you very much, Samir, and great to have you checking in as always. Hope you have a great week, and we'll hear you on next Wednesday. This is KN4LRA.
You too, and good luck with your midterms. 7-3 from N5EIF, and I'll be clear.
Thank you, and 7-3 to you as well, KN4LRA.
AI5PZN monitoring.
KI5PZN, this is KG5KVJ. I got a question for you.
Hey Garrett, how are you, man?
Doing all right, man. I got a question. So you have an amateur extra license, as far as I could tell. But you have a 2x3, and I think that's probably your original call sign. So I'm gonna guess you never changed it. I wanted to ask why you never changed your call sign.
Well, it's the original call sign that I got. I thought about it, but two things. Number one, I already have a license plate, and I just don't want to go through the hassle of changing that. And number two, if I keep this original call sign, then I don't look like an extra because I don't feel like I know a thing, so I'd rather keep that long call sign and just pass under the radar, to be quite honest.
Roger that. I was just kind of curious. I thought about changing my call sign now when I got my general, but decided against it. And even if I get my extra, I don't think I'll change my call sign. It's almost like you're married to the thing or something like that. And it certainly is definitely interesting. KG5, KVJ.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, some people don't have any issues and they change it. I don't see anything wrong with that either. But I don't know, for whatever reason. I guess it would have been easier for me if I would have been able to pass the technician and the general. Then I would have probably gone for something shorter. But it took me too long, and by the time I got all those things done, I kind of got used to it. And I hated it because when I first got it, because it has a Z in it, and I have an accent, and that's a really hard word. Letter for me to, anybody with an accent to pronounce. So I didn't like it, but then I heard Z, and I'm like, I can do that, and it should be pretty clear for people to understand me. But yeah, no, I mean, in a way, if I would have, like I said, if I would have passed all of them at once, it would have been cool to have a really short one, especially when you're doing an HF, because sometimes it's a pain in the hiney. When the conditions are not perfect, and you just want to get out there, and you have to say the long call sign, but it could be worse. I've heard some that I'm glad that I don't have. This one is bad, but not as bad as it could be. Yeah, I understand, man. Not wanting to change it. I'm one of them, I guess. KI5PZN.
Just also a quick comment on having a 2x3. I think they're slightly more desirable, even on HF. It's like, whoa. Everyone's got a 1x2 or 1x, I think 1x1s are realistic, but the thing is the 2x3 is it's like, whoa, I haven't heard that one before, so I would make an argument for keeping, the 2x3 call sign you got, not that you're looking to change it, but yeah, from my experience doing some HF stuff, I seem to get more response, being a KG5 KVJ rather than, a something, number something.
Yeah, guys, it all depends. 'Cause sometimes, when the conditions are perfect, I wish I had a shorter one. But then, again, it's just it is what it is. Now for CW, then you want to get a short one and make sure that you pick some that are, the short ones that have less dots. That's the only thing that I guess if you get into CW, then it would be kind of nice to have a very short one with short characters, but that's about it. I guess you can get used to pretty much anything.
Roger that. Appreciate you coming back, Ernesto. KG5, KVJ, I'm clear.